Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Strategic Power. In this video, we will discuss a recent statement by President Zelensky, where he warns that the situation on the front line in Ukraine is becoming increasingly critical. This is due to the lack of weapons supply from the United States and improving weather conditions favorable to Russian offensive operations. Russia is reinforcing its arsenal with an agreement with North Korea. Will Ukraine be able to withstand a new Russian onslaught without additional support from the United States? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the news. On Monday, February 19th, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky released a statement mentioning that the situation in some areas of the front line is becoming extremely challenging. He noted that the Russians are concentrating their forces at certain points and attacking areas where Ukraine is particularly vulnerable. Zelensky highlighted that the Russians are taking advantage of the lack of weapons and ammunition supply from the United States to Ukraine. He specifically mentioned the shortage of artillery ammunition and short-range air defenses, which are essential to support troops on the battlefield. In addition, Zelensky mentioned the shortage of long-range weapons, suggesting a possible lack of ammunition for the HIMARS system, essential to reach Russian targets up to 80 kilometers away. The recent fall of the city of Avdiivka, after 2 years of fighting, and especially during the last 4 months, caused the Ukrainians to withdraw from Donetsk, one of the main separatist strongholds in Donbass. This fall is seen as the first major impact of the disruption in the supply of weapons and ammunition from the United States. Although Zelensky closed important deals last week with countries like Germany and France, which together guaranteed the supply of almost €5 billion in weapons and ammunition, and the European Union made available a fund of €50 billion for financing the Ukrainian state until 2027, the military assistance from the United States, worth $61 billion, is crucial for Ukraine's defense. Without this funding, Ukrainian stocks of weapons and ammunition will not be replenished, which would give Vladimir Putin the opportunity to concentrate his reserves and launch attacks. According to some analysts, the Russian High Command is preparing to launch at least 2 new offensives in the spring. With winter coming to an end and the ground becoming firmer, this improves conditions for the use of large armoured formations. This climate change, combined with the lack of a secure and constant flow of weapons and ammunition to Ukraine, is the opportunity Putin has been waiting for to launch new attacks against more vulnerable areas. Many believe that one of these attacks will be directed at the Zaporizhzhia sector, with the aim of moving Ukrainian forces away from the border with Luhansk and, at the same time, creating tactical conditions for future attacks on Kramatorsk and Sloviansk, in the heart of the unoccupied part of the Donetsk Oblast. While Ukraine faces ammunition shortages, Russia is entering a new phase of abundance, after Putin allegedly signed a major deal with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. The rapprochement with North Korea began in July 2023, when Sergei Shoigu visited the country, and Kim Jong-un, in turn, visited Russia in September. During that visit, major deals are believed to have been concluded for the supply of North Korean ammunition, especially artillery. For many decades, North Korea received millions of ammunition from China and the former Soviet Union, a necessary measure due to the fear of an attack from the south. However, with North Korea becoming a full nuclear power with an estimated arsenal of at least 20 nuclear warheads and missiles capable of reaching targets at different distances, the level of deterrence achieved by the North Koreans means they no longer rely as much on conventional weapons. This gives Kim Jong-un leeway to negotiate his vast stockpile of ammunition, mainly artillery, which is precisely the type of ammunition that Putin needs most at the moment for a possible invasion of Ukraine. So here we have 3 factors contributing to the worsening situation in Ukraine. The first is the disruption in the flow of weapons and ammunition from the United States, highlighting the $60 billion fund, whose release is blocked in the Republican-controlled Congress. Without that fund, even with Europe doing its part and sending billions of euros, the operational capacity of the Ukrainian army is being severely impaired. The second factor is the gradual improvement in weather, which will allow Russia to employ its long columns of armoured vehicles. We must also consider that with the improving weather, Russian aircraft will have more opportunities to act, while Ukrainians are still awaiting the arrival of the promised F-16 fighters, which, according to some sources, should begin arriving in May. This means that Russia will maintain total dominance of the airspace over the battlefield. And lastly, the third factor is the deals struck by Russia with North Korea, guaranteeing Putin millions of ammunition that will reinforce Russia's advantage in the artillery area. The critical situation highlighted by Zelensky himself leaves no room for doubt. Ukraine is quickly moving towards a new devastating defeat. Without decisive support from the United States, and faced with a Russia increasingly strengthened by North Korean support, the inevitable question arises: how long will Ukraine be able to resist before being completely subdued by Russian power? Share your opinion in the comments. Do you believe in the resilience of the Ukrainians, or are we witnessing the last moments of the nation?